Happy New Year!
Yeah.
I'm Whitney.
I'm Amy.
We are on the haunt.
Yes. We've replenished our neck muscles. We can bob our heads when we come on. Did you miss us?
Sorry we were gone 2 weeks.
Yeah.
We needed just a Christmas break.
Some family time. Both Sundays were holidays.
Yeah,
we figured you had better things to do than listen to our ridiculousness.
Yes, I literally just laid in my own filth for like 2 weeks. It was great.
I feel like I was actually pretty busy.
Were you?
Yeah.
We didn't do
have
too
a
much.
lot of downtime.
My kids were sick a lot of it.
Yeah.
That's fun, but it was enjoyable. Amy got her Christmas present.
I did. I'm so excited.
It's going to be so great. So Keaton, her daughter, reached out and was like, what do I get my mom? And I'm like, And then I was like, well, I got an idea that's a little crazy. And she was like, what? And I was like, well, what if you got her tickets to Obsessed Fest and I get a hotel? And she's like, yes. I'm like, yes. And then I was like, by the way, Kyle, sorry, I'm going away for a weekend in October. And he's like, what? I'm like, don't worry about it. It's fine. So, yeah, we're staying at the place where it is.
Which apparently is close to, did you listen to?
The Grassy Knoll.
I know, yes. We'll have to
We're going to the Grassy
Knoll.
We have to take a picture with a babushka lady.
Yes.
I almost did that today. I was like, I should do Kennedy assassination theories and stuff. But anyway, yeah, we totally have to go. How crazy is that? I've never been to Dallas.
No. I don't even know if I've ever been to Texas.
Me neither.
Honestly.
I don't think I have.
It's so funny when my students went to Texas over Christmas break, and I'm like, hey, Tyson, I'm going to Texas in October. And he's like, what for? And I'm like,
You're like,
I'm like, a true crime convention. I don't know how else. I mean, that's kind of what it
really is.
He's like, oh, that's really cool. He's like, you and your husband? I'm like, no, me and my best friend. He's like, oh, that's way better. I'm like,
You're like, yes, it is.
It.
My wife, my sister wife.
Yes, my sister wife. Oh my God, did you see all the sister wives have left Cody Brown except Sop and Robin?
So, what'd you call her?
Sop and Robin. That's what everybody online
Why'd they call her that?
She's always crying.
Oh, because she's married to Cody.
Yeah. Have you seen
sad.
like the screenshots of like the show when he's looking down?
Oh,
He
no.
has like these two pieces of hair that hang. This is all bald. And then you have to look. And
my God. He
grosses.
He gives
is so
me the
gross.
heebie-jeebies.
And he's so mean. Have you watched this season?
I haven't.
Oh, he's so mean. He's
Ugh,
so mean.
leave
He's
him,
like,
Sob
it is
and Robin.
time we return to the
our
patriarchy.
Oh.
And Janelle is like, excuse me? I did not sign up for the patriarchy.
We all care for your children, sir.
Yeah.
Like,
And he clearly only wants to be married to Robin anyway, so
he's
it's like
so
whatever.
gross.
It is
man.
so gross.
He-
It is so
ugh,
gross.
he's the worst.
Yeah. But anyway, well, that took a
That took a turn.
complete 180. But yeah, so
I can't
am
wait.
so excited. It was like, my Keaton is a pretty good gift giver.
Yeah.
I always tell her I think that's her love language. But she also spends all of her money on gifts. I'm like, Keaton, calm down.
Well, she did. I think everyone chipped in because I was like, Keaton, this is like $200.
Well, no, they did.
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
from the
Good.
whole. That was from the family. But she's always like, "Oh, I can't wait for you to get your gift, Mom. It's so great." And I'm always like, "Okay." And then
This time
it's usually okay, but it's never like what the buildup is.
Yeah.
This was beyond my
It
expectations.
took everything I had not to tell you. I wanted to, because I wanted to talk about it. Because, I had to log on, the day of. It was Ticketmaster all over again, except it wasn't Ticketmaster. But I was like, I had already bought the hotel, and I was like, oh my God, what if I can't get tickets to it? And we have I'm sure we could sell them, but what if we can't?
Yeah.
But then
we all have residual trauma from Taylor Swift.
It's true. And then they were like, $40. Do you want to upgrade $40 a ticket for VIP to TCO? And I'm like, yeah, yes, I do. I didn't even tell Keaton. I was like, I'm just getting that.
No.
You're not. That's on
Jamie
me.
would have questioned nothing. You know what he told me he was going to do otherwise? He was going to get me a $400 gift certificate to the tattoo shop. Whatever. He's getting like a full body tattoo.
And why 400?
I don't know. He doesn't know. He clearly
right.
doesn't even know what I pay for my tattoos. I'm like, well, I usually go to this guy that just ended his apprenticeship, so he always just charges me $100 flat rate.
Yeah, and a 400.
And I always tip him like 50 because I'm like, that's not enough.
No,
dude.
no,
Ethan,
no.
you're not charging me enough.
No. That's great. It's amazing. And I cannot
I'm so
wait.
excited because I already told my principal, I'm like, I will be putting in for a personal day as soon as that opens up.
Yes, just so you know,
And
get
then
a sub
Jamie's
lined up.
like, well, I'll have enough points, so you got to fly Southwest. And I'm like, and then all that crap happened with Southwest. I'm like, well, they better get that straightened out.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't care.
No, because we are not driving to Dallas.
No way.
Like 10 hours or something.
No,
like,
and it's not that I would even mind. I think a road trip with you would be fun.
But I honestly hate road trips.
And also, it's during like the school year. Like, I can't just be taking all these days.
What'll happen is I'll just get car sick and be sick the whole time. That's what, or I'll be on Dramamine.
You would insist on driving the entire time because you would never allow me behind the wheel going somewhere, driving to Texas. There are like armadillos. I think there's toll booths.
There's like tumbleweeds. She'd definitely kill us over a tumbleweed. Yeah, it's going to be so exciting. So, they haven't even announced who all is going to be there yet.
No.
But I know...
They did say that they're hoping that everybody that was there last year comes, and then also an additional set.
Rabia Chaudhry, who I cannot wait.
Wasn't Damien Eccles at the last one?
Yes, Damien Eccles was at the last one. They did like a West Memphis 3 panel.
Yeah.
Which is, I mean, and his wife too, who's super cool. It's so weird that Jillian knows him.
Yeah.
Anyway, if you don't listen to True Crime Obsessed, you really should because it's amazing.
Yeah.
But Rabia Chaudhry is great. Ellen Marsh, who now has a podcast with Rabia Chaudhry going over like they do famous cases with celebrities. So like Gatton Matarazzo was on one, and he's so cute.
Oh, did you see Noah Schnapp came out yesterday?
I know. And he was like, everyone who loves me was like, yeah, we know. It's like, that's cute. I love him. Yeah. His Instagram and TikTok is fun.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. Whitney and I haven't seen each other in a couple weeks. We're just catching up.
Talking about all our things.
Looks great, by the way.
Thanks. Got my eyebrows microbladed.
I was supposed to go with her, but then she kept rescheduling, and then finally,
it was a mess.
On a day, I was like, my son actually said he would hang out with me, so I was like, oh, sorry.
And the lady who did it was so nice. She listened to trap music the whole time with like very explicit lyrics. So I'm just like,
hey, whatever gets her in her groove. Right?
I know. She was so sweet. She did a great job. It started itching, and now it started to flake off. So it's a little bit patchy, but I have to go back and get it like a touch up.
Yeah.
So it really hurt because it's just literally like a little knife. Yeah. I was like, I don't hear a tattoo gun because I anticipated like, that's what I thought it would be. No, and she's like, yeah, this part's a little different, and it's literally just a little blade, and she just scratches lines into her face, and I was like, ow, ow,
that sounds like whatever like the old tattoo, like the tribal tattoos or whatever, where they just like ding, 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 ding.
Yes, it was something.
Well,
that was
looks
fun.
Great.
Thank you. So if you would like to get your eyebrows microbladed, check out Black Moon something Arts Tattoo Studio. She's great. That's all. Right. Okay, should we just do this?
I guess. Let's jump in.
Okay.
We'll save our
8 minutes is enough.
We'll save our what have you been watching and reading until the next episode.
Listen next week.
Yeah. Because we never know what to do on that one.
Also, Eyeball does listen. He sent us a message a month ago. I just saw it. Because we're constantly like, they don't listen. We have like the worst self-confidence of all.
Yeah. Sorry, that was not directed at you, Eyeball.
I think it was.
Well, no, I'm just saying that was more self-deprecating.
Oh, yeah,
It wasn't like saying anything about your character. It was saying no one could possibly want to sit through this.
Or that we're like, clearly Eyeball has better things to do with his life. But he's working on it. I bet he's like doing his art stuff and listening. Is that what you're doing? Is that what you're doing right now?
Yeah. Or I always listen to podcasts while I'm driving.
Yeah.
Anyway. Whatever. Or when I'm on a walk.
So sorry.
Which I finally did the other day because it was nice out and I hadn't been so long and I'm so out of shape. You know how that first your legs itch really badly? Yeah, I experienced that and then I was real sad.
It's,
But whatever.
It's that time of
at least I got out there and gave it a whirl.
You did it.
My New Year's resolution is to drink more water.
That's good.
I was like, that's not something I can really let myself down on.
I guess you could.
Well, you could, I suppose. But I'm not setting the bar unrealistically high. Right. I don't care about losing weight. I just want to take my health back. I've tried to cut back a little bit on sugar. That wasn't a resolution. That was just I have an iron deficiency and I have to go for lab work next week. And if my iron isn't better, I have to get a scope. So
I'm
just down my throat. Because apparently they can see something that tells why you're not absorbing iron correctly through a scope. So so I've just been like
we
trying
don't
to cut back on sugar and eat more protein and stuff. And I got me a Circle A circle cup.
What's a circle?
So,
But it looks, what is it? It looks cool.
you buy these. This is a cartridge, a flavor cartridge, and you can adjust the flavor. That's why I can never do like the powders and stuff. I can never get it right. But this little dial, you turn it, and it's like, I forget. It's like 120 fluid ounces worth of water per cartridge. And the cartridges are like $3, $3 something
cool.
at Walmart. So you just replace that. So,
Nice. Whatever
so
gets
that's
you
my-
drinking water,
yeah,
who
so
cares,
that's
right?
My resolution. We'll see what happens.
I'm trying to just like get back to feeling like myself again. This, like, the last couple of years have just been really hard.
Yeah.
You know?
No,
So.
I get it. It's taken its toll on all of us, I feel like.
sure.
And some in different ways than others. But, all right, again, no one
Let's
cares.
do this.
Here we go. I don't even know what this crap is. Here we go. So,
Way to build it up,
well,
Amy.
I'm going to be going to Reddit for my first story. Because I was just like, Reddit. Rah, rah. I'm like, oh, wait, what's this? And then I'm like, okay, so let me go to Wikipedia first.
Oh.
And, you know,
Well,
so
you're
I can
confusing me. I thought we were
explain
going to Reddit first.
Well, no, I'm going to
Okay.
go back to Reddit
Okay.
after I go to Wikipedia and tell you what this is.
Okay.
It's math, which is like so scary. Ooh.
That's true.
So I'm going to be talking about four-dimensional space today.
Whoa, okay.
And Reddit, this Reddit thread led me to this topic.
Okay.
So I'm like, I don't really even know a whole lot about this because it's all about, it's like algebraic equation, like
good
crazy
God.
math kind of stuff. So
A
anyways.
squared plus B squared.
But that
plus
isn't
C
what the
squared?
Reddit thing's going to be about.
Okay.
He's the original
just
poster
equations.
is trying to like. Okay, I don't get there.
Just get there when
Whatever,
you
it'll
get there. Don't just hang in there with us.
Yes. So per Wikipedia, a four-dimensional space, or 4D, is a mathematical extension of the concept of three-dimensional space. So
Makes sense.
three-dimensional space is simplest possible abstraction of the observation that one only needs three numbers called dimension to describe the sizes or locations of objects in the
Like
everyday
we
world.
live in 3D.
Yeah, for example, it says volume of a rectangular box is found by measuring and multiplying the length, width, and height. Yeah.
Yeah.
We all had to
did
memorize
that.
those formulas at some point in time.
yeah.
Never use it again. But
No, not
that's
in our
okay.
lines of work.
But
Someone is used
yes,
somewhere.
Yes.
A geologist. We talked
There
about
you go.
geologists earlier.
So the idea of adding a fourth dimension began with Jean-Laurent de Alembert Dimensions being published in 1754, which
Wow.
is really surprising. Like someone was thinking of 4D way back in the 1700s.
I just imagine they're like just
I just imagine,
hitting rocks together.
Well, I don't know. When did they discover the Earth was round? Even so, I'm just like, is this when they still thought the Earth was flat in the 1700s? I don't know.
When did they? I'm gonna ask.
I mean, there are some people that still won't concede to the
Oh my
fact that
god!
it's
And
round.
that birds are fake. Yeah. Well, it seems around 500 BC, most ancient Greeks believed that the Earth was round.
Oh.
But they had no idea how big the planet was until around 240 BC, when this guy, Eratosthenes or something like that, measured the Earth. Bro, how you do that? It was 240 BC. Jesus hadn't even jumped on the scene.
No.
Wow. We're underachievers.
We really are.
Why do I feel really bad about myself? That there are days I can't even get out of bed, and this guy's like,
I'm proud of myself for drinking more water.
measuring
for God's sake.
which is like something you literally need to live to survive. And this guy measured the whole Earth. I mean, I don't know how.
No,
it
I
goes
don't
into
either.
tons of details I don't even need to know.
I imagine there were also algebraic equations involved in that.
It's amazing, honestly.
So anyways,
those Greeks.
This guy was followed up by Joseph Louis Lagrange in the mid-1700s and culminated in a precise formalization, blah, blah, blah. No one cares.
No one knows what those words mean.
But anyways, higher dimensional spaces have since become one of the foundations for formally expressing modern mathematics and physics.
Oh.
Large parts of these topics could not exist in their current forms without the use of such spaces. Einstein's concept, we know him, of space-time uses such a 4D space, though it has a Minkowski structure that is slightly more complicated than the Euclidean
You've lost me.
4D space.
I'm lost.
Yeah. So anyways, it's math.
like
this kind of math.
It's like
Goodwill Hunting math.
that's like vertical
right?
math. I don't even understand what.
Is that even called math? I don't know what that is.
Goodwill Hunting math.
All sorts of like exponents and parentheses.
There's like giant parentheses.
Square root symbols.
The parentheses are like so big.
Yes, they're long.
How do you get that on your keyboard?
And what are those numbers? Why are the numbers stacked like that? There's not even like a line making it a fraction.
How do you get your computer to do that? Is there like a secret keyboard?
And then why are these numbers lower than the letters? What's that called? That's not an exponent. That's because exponents are up high.
Yeah, that's the opposite. Literally the opposite.
What's it called when you have a letter and the little number below it? We don't know.
Wow.
But anyways, so we'll be talking about, none of that crap today.
But that's just a general overview.
4D is.
Yeah.
So
it's like 3D, but 4D.
Yes.
More Ds.
So I'm
More
going to go
Ds.
to conspiracy.
Is
No,
Chris
that's
playing
not his
music
name.
right now? Do you hear that?
Maybe. Or is that the TV?
He's just serenading Mandy. This is their lives.
So this was posted by Vex59 Sean.
People's usernames are always so great.
And it's Sean, Shaughan. That's a lot of letters.
What? Shaughan? Mm-hmm. Is that pronounced Sean?
Well, how else would you pronounce it?
How do you spell it?
Well, because I've seen the name Shauna spelled that way with just an A on the end, so.
Huh, okay.
Stop making me question that.
No, I just like...
I mean, phonetically, it makes no sense. I'm with you there, but I'm just assuming that.
I'm over here just like, what does the UGH sound make?
Is that like Irish?
God, why do we talk?
I don't know.
It's embarrassing.
Hey, let's have a podcast.
We've talked
Two
about
of the biggest idiots on the planet.
We've
who
talked
can't even,
about
verbally. And
when did they learn that the Earth was round?
Hey, that's a genuine,
no, I know.
legitimate question.
I had to look it up. I didn't know. But
I think that's predating when because. Remember, when
they went to sail,
were exploring.
Yeah.
They were afraid they were going to sail
fall
off the Earth.
Well, maybe they didn't believe the Greeks. Christopher Columbus is like, I know better than them, and it's like, bleh. Yeah.
Christopher Columbus,
and then he's like, who can I pillage?
Yeah.
What
and murder
and other terrible things,
assault.
Yeah.
All right,
piece of crap.
So whatever. So back to Vex59 Sean. Notice I'm no longer saying the U/ in front of the
U/.
That sounds like a compliment. You slash. You should start saying that.
And then she did a weird hand thing.
That's like Eddie, Stranger Things, Hellfire Club.
What's this called?
This is
horns.
Rock and roll.
Rock
and roll. It's the horns.
I love you.
Mess with the boy, you're gonna get the horns. Whatever that.
But she pointed them at me.
I
was
did.
Like aggressive. And I liked it.
All right, so he says, so hear me out.
Okay,
I
Sean.
love when a Reddit starts out, so hear me out.
Because we're like, oh, Lord, where's this going?
Yeah. Hypothetically, the fourth spatial dimension is one step past the third dimension. We already know that. Thanks.
Yeah, gosh, because we can count to 4.
No, I'm just...
And 3 comes after... 4 comes after 3. I almost
Third
said that
comes
wrong.
after 4th. Or no. I don't know. I just go with you. We're so in sync.
We're so wrongly in
wrong.
sync. You just follow me off a cliff. I'm like, go this way. And we're like, oh, I just trust you.
You're so Thelma and Louise.
And you trust me. I wish we had a Brad Pitt, actually a Ryan Phillippe.
Oh, God, now he's going to mansplain something. For those who
Sean.
don't know what I mean, here's a mini explanation. A point is 0 dimensions. A line is 1 dimension. And he tells, what those dimensions are.
Well, I'm not following his mansplaining,
blah,
though.
blah, 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 blah. A tesseract, also known as a hypercube, is 4 dimensions. So we're talking length, width, depth, and some direction we can't comprehend.
Whoa.
Okay. And connect to another cube. We can't comprehend this because we live in the 3rd dimension. I'm getting to the ghost part, he says. Oh, by the way, this is titled, Guys, what if the 4th spatial dimension actually explains ghosts? I guess I should have opened with that.
But that's a great point. Oh, ew. Oh, sorry. Now I'm just going through what that means in my brain. Like when you die, you just like still are here.
Like a dimension we can't comprehend.
But then are you still in all this?
Well, I don't know if he's going to get to this.
Do you still see
I haven't
the
actually
same...
read this. I just
Are people
saw
in the prayer
topic.
closet with us? I should get out my EMF
Probably.
detector that's in my
Well, I
Britney
feel like
Spears
there are always
backpack.
people with us.
I
You got an EMF detector?
Yeah, in my Britney Spears
Sweet.
backpack. I bought
We're always prepared.
I brought it with you.
Oh. Oh, yeah.
We were together.
I just remember the...
How forgettable I am.
Well, I just remember the light thingy. Sorry.
No, the light thing is great.
I don't even know what I did with that.
We're just like, I feel like you're in a freaking Janet Jackson music video.
We actually went there before Christmas back to that haunted Hannibal place because Keaton had to get a not pink elephant. What's it called?
White elephant.
White elephant.
Pink elephant would be great too.
Gift for her Christmas party.
So what'd she get there?
And I tried to talk her into getting an actual voodoo doll, but she was like, I don't know.
Not in Silex.
So she ended up getting these
Should be burned at the stake.
like handmade earrings that were chickens.
So random. Oh.
She's like, well, Mom, there are actually a lot of people at Silex that are into chickens. Well, even better.
Oh, God.
And then we went to Target and bought like some sort of British candy.
Well, at least we can say we're not into chickens.
Yes. You can say a lot of stuff about us, but we're not into chickens.
And like,
I mean, I'm into eating chicken. It's
delicious. All day long. I'm just not into
and eggs.
chickens.
I love eggs.
Not like
some cheese melted on them.
That's just not into chickens.
No.
Ooh.
No, not my jam.
Kyle raised chickens for a minute when he was in high school. He was into chickens.
He was into chickens. Okay.
I'm just like into chickens. It's on your Instagram bio. Into chickens.
Into chickens. Chicken mom. Hashtag chicken mom. You know there are people. They have T-shirts that say.
Well, M and H have chickens. Meghan and Harry.
Oh.
I cannot.
Sorry.
I get Prince Harry's book on Tuesday. I am losing it.
Yeah, there's
The tea.
The tea.
Scalding. I'll bring it to you as soon
I
as
hope
I'm
the
done.
pages are like whatever you do when you stain paper with tea,
Tea?
you know, to make it look more antiquated. I'm hoping that's how those
He
are.
wrote it with a quill also.
William
Prince
threw
Harry.
him on the floor.
Willie. He calls him Willie too. Which I'm like,
And he says something about his baldness.
oh,
Is that in the book, or did he just say that in an interview?
ooh, the shade.
He said his premature balding is happening. I think he was implying because the
Well,
life
Harry
is so
says
stressful.
too.
But I'm like, Harry,
Have
I
you looked
watched
at
your
your own
documentary,
head?
bud. You got can he see it? He can't see it, but
Get a mirror.
Watch the video.
Also,
And
a
he
handheld mirror.
He wears baseball caps a lot, so
Yeah.
don't act like you're wearing those.
Yeah, and it's fine. I mean,
Yeah,
like
it's fine,
your-
but don't
Is
comment on your
Charles
brothers.
bald? I don't.
Well, male pattern baldness is from the mother's side.
Oh,
Because the kids are always like, ooh, Dad. And he's like, you just wait, it's coming. I'm like, actually, I think you guys are fine. I can't recall one person in my family. My dad didn't even lose his hair through like intense chemo.
right. That hair was
maybe
in there.
thinned a little bit, but it certainly never.
Oh,
I was
so
still
from
cutting my dad's
Diana.
hair. Yeah. So,
Well,
anyways.
anyway.
All right.
Oh,
So-
sorry. One
no,
more thing.
you're good.
The whole like baby brain thing. Have you heard this?
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, and they're like, she's all about feminism, but she said baby brain. I'm like,
well, that's a real thing.
have you had a baby,
Yeah,
sir?
you do get
Man
baby
who's
brain.
probably saying this.
Yeah.
Yeah, everything's messed up. Okay?
Yeah.
It ruins our lives.
Your hormones are 1,000,000% out of whack.
You can't remember anything.
No.
So screw you. And she's probably saying that it's like a thing women do sometimes to bond and
Yeah.
connect. You know what I mean?
Or she may have even just been making like a lighthearted.
Yes.
Like, oh, it's okay. Don't worry about it.
You're
It's
not
baby
going to be
brain.
like, oh, you got baby brain.
Yeah. God, loser.
What a weird.
You
insult.
should just not leave your house until you're over the baby brain. Like, I'm
So-
sure it was nothing
God, let's
like
just
that.
pick apart every
For
single
real.
thing people do. Anyway, Royal Corner's over.
If you haven't watched
Meghan and Harry.
Yeah, Meghan and Harry. And then, is it this week, the 60 Minutes
Oh,
thing
I
comes
can't.
out?
I am like, I never cared that much until right this second. I didn't care when they got married. I didn't watch it. I didn't give a crap.
But now we are invested.
Yes, because there is tea.
Yes.
And because I'm like, William's a jerk, man. I'm taking their side.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's lots of
I'm
nuances,
Team Meghan
though,
and Harry, but...
that, in all of it, but...
Well, when you said M&H, I thought you were, like, referring to people we actually know in our real lives.
Oh, because I was abbreviating it?
Yeah, so I was like, who do we know? Who do we know?
No, M&H.
People.
It's weird nicknames.
Like, that's so scandalous you couldn't have just said.
What did I even say?
They're chicken people.
Oh. Yeah, it's like the new really bad
Although we were
insult.
kind of making fun of chicken people.
We were. I mean, and they are chicken people because they have chickens. Did they have chickens at Tyler Perry's house? I don't know.
I don't know either.
Random. Anyway, sorry,
Okay.
you probably don't care. Back to the fourth dimension.
Yes. I lost my spot. Poop. So in order to explain this, I have to explain what happens if a shape in higher dimension passes through a dimension lower than it, such as a third dimension object passing through a second dimension.
What?
If you were to push a sphere through the second dimension, it would appear to be a circle that came out of nowhere, grows larger, then shrinks until it's gone. With
How do they know that?
math, physics.
Okay.
I'm sure there are experiments you could actually do, like showing that.
How do you
could
put something
demonstrate
into
that.
the second dimension? How would you do that?
I don't know. But
I don't
I'm
either.
Sure you can.
Because second dimension is just like things that are flat, right?
But think of like
God, this
I'm
is
just
going to be
thinking
the
of
most
like
embarrassing.
magicians when they do like they make things go through stuff and it appears to change. I don't know. It's magic, okay? It's real. It's Chris Angel level.
Hey, the difference between magic and science is,
There's a real thin line.
a real thin.
So anyways, but I'm sure
I'm just gonna take this.
You could
So
do stuff.
there's like 2-dimensional people, second dimension, that are just like paper dolls,
Flat Stanley.
and they're like, oh God, that circle came out of nowhere and it's shrinking. They're just like being traumatized by all these experiments
Probably.
of circles.
Yes,
Flat Stanley.
That's their life.
Flat Stanley.
Flat Stanley. That's why he's always so horrified.
In the movie Inside Out, they go 2-dimensional too, where they're like, It's great. Anyway.
All right.
Okay, what's 1-dimensional?
I don't know.
I don't know. Either.
Air.
Like,
We're so stupid. A line. I don't know.
I have no idea. I am. So why'd I even ask?
I don't know.
Just so we can look dumb.
Yeah.
Go on.
So with half a sphere,
sorry.
you could do a lot more. Depending on how you pushed it through, it would appear to be completely different shapes in the second dimension. It could look like a semicircle or a full circle of many sizes. If you were to do this with your third dimensional hand, it would appear to be 4 separate circles that start to grow. Your fingers, then a 5th circle would appear, your thumb. But soon after, the 4 circles would merge into one oval with the 5th circle still growing, the center of your hand before the part where your thumb attaches. I apologize if this is hard to understand. Well, thank
Yes,
you.
sir.
Apology accepted.
Sean, you lost me.
If you want a better explanation, there's a book called Things to Make and Do in the Fourth Dimension. Okay.
Hey, I'm just going to go to the fourth dimension real quick.
All right, now he says, now for the ghosts. Okay.
Okay, yes.
If there were fourth dimensional beings, or if the fourth dimension is where our conscious goes when we dies, if it were to pass through the third dimension, it would be parts of a fourth dimensional thing appearing in 3D. And there would be no way for us to comprehend what it looks like because it would only be a fraction of what it really is.
Weird.
So where he's talking about, like, if we're taking stuff from the third dimension into the fourth, it would look so weird. So I guess he's saying also coming from the fourth
To the third.
into the third would be similar.
Look weird, too. I wonder in what ways.
So if a conscious or being in the fourth dimension were to pass through the third dimension, we would see parts of them. And what if the parts of them you see are humanoid looking or look like the person that the conscious was once connected to? This would explain ghosts appearing to be made of nothing as they seemingly phase in and out of our dimension. Hypothetically, they could mess with things within the third dimension without us knowing because they would be in a dimension beyond our understanding. So I guess that's saying how they could make noises or move objects or...
Well, and you sometimes hear stories about people who will see ghosts and they don't see a full apparition. They'll just see like legs, you know,
Yeah.
or a torso.
Or why it's transparent and not a solid.
Well, and you take this whole idea and then the idea of time and how like time is just something we made up.
Right.
And so, yeah, it's just, that's interesting.
It's not really linear.
No.
So,
I mean, we made it up.
yeah. And he says, this is just a theory. None of it is proven to be true. I do think it's a really cool concept. I want to know other people's thoughts on this. I want people to bring up stuff I missed and point out things I got wrong, which I really appreciate.
I love that, Sean. You're just like, yeah.
Through this, I plan on refining this theory into something even better.
Oh, is this guy a scientist?
And then he's like, and thank you if you read this far into this post. It means a lot.
Oh, gosh.
Shout out, Sean.
The good parts of Reddit.
Yes.
There's some real ugly parts.
So here we go. Here is
Oh, God.
slappy nipples.
It's great. Anything with nipples
We're
is
here
funny.
just for the username.
Anything with nipples
Yes.
is funny.
Says somewhat
Slappy.
related to your post. A theory I had come up with as to one of the many reasons why other races, aliens, extraterrestrials, don't land here or publicly introduce themselves to us might be due to the fact that they can detect or see what we call ghost spirits, jinn, demons, poltergeists, etc. Therefore, they might
They're
say
like, what's happening down there?
say, screw that. Let's only observe from space, the sky, or the oceans. So
They're like,
they're evolved enough they can totally see what's going on in the 4D.
Ooh, how creepy.
Which is concerning though, because it's so scary they don't even want to mess with it.
But we're just living our normal lives here. It's fine.
Yeah. So then Sean comes back and comments to people. He's like, I've never thought of that. That's cool and kind of makes sense.
Sean, you're great.
Rare and Scared says, that's amazing.
Thanks, Rare.
And then people are just kind of like, yeah, cool theory and that kind of stuff. Then Prospwolf says, this makes sense. If aliens are coming from distant galaxies that's still within this universe, then I'm sure they have all those in their planets too. Only The Office says, also, why would an alien life form be more scared of a ghost than of a human? If they're scared of something that looks unlike them, then they'd be scared of ghosts and humans alike, probably. And
makes
then
sense,
Propswolf replies, I think he just can't comprehend aliens can be just like us, but figured out how to travel.
Oh, like there's humans on another
Yeah.
planet?
I still believe there are aliens walking this planet. That's just me. That look just like us.
Yeah, or that can change and
Yes.
look like whatever they... That's weird to think that about humans on another planet. Because we always assume they're like not... They don't look like us.
And that also goes to the dimensions, though.
Oh,
What if that fourth dimension is Whitney and Amy?
that's weird.
Just a slightly different version of us.
I don't like that.
Now I'm going to go down this rabbit hole because they always say they think in an alternate dimension. Be just one little decision was made differently, but maybe it's because you're interpreting how to make that decision because things look different.
That's weird.
Ooh, look at us getting all
That's weird.
cognitive.
For once in our... Maybe the other Amy and Whitney are super... Maybe
Maybe.
they have a physics podcast.
Yes, probably.
Wow, that's weird.
So then Iosun Kalof, I don't even know, says there's a theory that dark matter and dark energy only exist in the fourth spatial dimension, which would explain why we can't directly observe it. And then Vex59 Sean comes back and says, actually, hypothetically, if you shine a light at a tesseract, the shadow should be third. Maybe that's dark matter.
What the hell's a tesseract?
He explained that. That was that 4D shape. But if you shine it, then the shadow would be 3D.
That's weird.
So then that could be dark matter.
This is blowing my mind.
Classic Difficulty 18 says, I'm wondering if when on stuff like DMT, if this allows for one to access a 4D-like image.
What's DMT?
I don't know. Is that like a drug?
I guess. I don't know.
I've never personally done it, but I'm very intrigued by the penile gland and its potential
Excuse
ability.
me, what? The what gland?
Penile.
The penis? So confused.
There would have to be a gland in the penis, right? A penile gland?
What's a gland? I mean, honestly.
What's it got to do?
What do they do?
What's DMT then?
What
it like
is
an erectile
DMT?
dysfunction drug?
What is DMT? Hallucinogenic tryptamine drug.
Oh, wait a minute. Then equal size 0 says, I think you mean pineal. Penile is the other end of the body. And then classic difficulty comes back and says, I Googled it right after. It had an FFS moment. So, yeah.
I'm like, what's FFS?
Yeah.
Got it.
And then Irrelevant Potato says, I mean, aren't we all intrigued by the penile gland, though?
We
just have a lot of comments.
This went
about
to the penis place
gland.
real
Yes.
quick. It always does. It devolved to penises.
So then Monkey67 says the answer to that is yes. And Boofaholics Anonymous says, I have to agree that way objects bend and contort, distort don't make sense in our third dimensional view, but it reminds me of our model of a teaser acting, folding in and out of itself. This is what leads me to believe DMT is a view of at least the fourth dimension. On top of it, I've seen into the future on DMT, so literally stepped outside of time or whatever, only to place back in it. DMT is something else. I think everyone should give it a try at least once.
So on this thing about DMT, it has links to ayahuasca,
Oh, okay.
penile gland. Well, it's spelled like pine al gland.
Yeah. But he spelled it penile gland, so he was correct.
Pineal gland. I don't know. Date rape, drugs, mushrooms.
Is that like your like epithalamus or whatever?
Hypothalamus.
And all that kind of stuff? Is that like a gland that deals with that stuff? I don't know.
I don't know either.
I guess it doesn't matter, but... Oh, there's a DMT Reddit.
DMT is the main active ingredient of ayahuasca.
Someone is encouraging people to join this Reddit. Get a cat for diet.
Did you watch that episode of Chelsea Handler's
Yes.
show? She did ayahuasca.
Get a cat or die trying. Took me a minute to figure that out.
Okay, this is stereotypical of people who use ayahuasca.
Yeah, that's not okay.
A white chick with dreads. They're colorful.
Yeah, whatever. I would just be the person that vomits everywhere and cries. Like, I just feel like I would not have a good experience.
I think I'd lose it and probably never come back. You know what I mean? I've just gone. I'm there now. It is interesting, all the Amazonian tribes that used it for religious and spiritual purposes. You need a shaman.
Yeah, for sure.
I'd be too scared, I think.
Yeah,
I'm too
me
scared
too.
to do a lot of things.
Yeah. I would be like, if there's no, like, tap out option, like,
Right.
okay, I'm done.
Because you're just...
Like, you just have to ride that wave until it's over. And
some
don't
people
think I'd be
just
okay with
laid
that.
there and puked.
Yeah,
And
that
it's
would
like-
be me. That's what I'm
right.
saying. I would just get
It's like, at least are you
vomiting
having a good experience mentally?
Yeah.
Are you like, in your mind, you're like,
No. But
you're like riding a magic carpet with
vomiting is in the top 3 list of things I loathe. Like,
But maybe you're so high you don't even know you're vomiting.
no, I don't know.
Maybe you're vomiting like glitter.
I hate that pre-vomiting feeling.
It's the worst.
It's worse than the actual
and you just
want to
like
itself.
get it done.
Yes.
Can I puke?
Yes, like
And
your
it's
jaws start hurting and your mouth starts
Watering.
watering. It's
Yeah.
like, oh.
You know it's coming. Anyways, that grossing you out? Sorry.
We're not here for
Have
that.
you done ayahuasca?
So Coastal Tart says, the fourth dimension of our space is time. That's why it's called space-time. So the dimension you're referring to would actually be the fifth dimension.
What?
But yeah, it's fascinating. I tend to think of it more as a possible explanation for aliens and UFO phenomena, but it probably can apply as possible explanation for any unexplained phenomena. Missing 411 uses it as a possible explanation for Bigfoot and people dissipate, which we've Skinwalker Ranch.
And God, can you... I don't like that, though. You disappear and then you're in another dimension.
Yeah.
What?
So the idea is that portals or mini wormholes type structures allow entities from 5-dimensional space to enter and exit our 4-dimensional world, or to catch humans and bring them into 5-dimensional space.
No. What?
But think about it. Think of how many people have And I'm not saying...
Maura Murray's in the fifth dimension.
Yeah, but I'm just...
God.
And I am not discounting that people are abducted and abused and sex trafficked and all that. But...
By other humans.
Yeah, by other humans.
In this dimension.
Yeah. And can we get some more funding to look into that, please? Thank you.
Yeah, what in the world?
But...
There are some weird things
There
that
are some
happen.
really weird disappearances that have zero trail. Like, the trail is cold immediately. There is not even a trail.
Yeah.
Like, you can't help but wonder.
Right.
Like, what happened to these
where did they
people?
go? Ugh.
Then they all just start kind of nerd arguing about the dimensions. So
Actually, there are only... That's the fourth.
yeah.
No, it's the fifth.
And only The Office jumps in. Well, numbering time as Dimension 4 is pretty arbitrary, though. No. Why couldn't it be Dimension 5 or 75 with plenty of others in between? So just calm down, guys. Calm down.
God, my hip.
Can we get back? Can we
hurt my hip somehow.
talk about
Oh, God.
some ghosts anywhere again? I mean, that was the whole start of this thread. Machine Elf 91 says, fantastic read, my friend. Thanks for giving insight into your theory. Actually, you phrase how I always saw a tesseract moving. Not comprehensible for us and downright scary given the time exposed to the ghost or the circumstances. Maybe that's the reason for the term the other side. Ooh, look at you, Machine Elf 91.
Machine Elf.
And Vex 59 Sean was like, I'm glad this wasn't too confusing for you. Thanks for reading it.
Well, that's kind of patronizing.
And then King Chop Sauce says, that would imply somebody already proved this. Man, calm
King
down.
Chop Sauce? I'm just so amazed at people. How do people come up with these usernames?
I don't know.
Random word generator?
And then Administrative 266 says, expanding on your theory, what if we as beings or maybe energy actually start out as one-dimensional beings, and every time we die, it's our consciousness moving on to the next dimension? I apologize if that makes no sense. The edible just kicked in.
How would you... What? I mean, that's weird.
So each dimension is an evolution?
And then what's next? Where do we go next?
Are there...
Or is it done?
Dimensions?
Or where it's at the end. That would suck if you're like, well, I guess if it's infinite, there's no end. But like,
and then Baker SMT says sort of like reincarnation, but transdimensionally. If so, I like it.
well, how do you know reincarnation's not trans? I mean,
Yeah.
I guess some people think that you come back in this dimension.
Yeah.
And you do read experiences of people. Incarnation's fascinating.
Okay, I'll just do one more. Colorado 1996 says, I've always thought of ghosts as being traces of humans. For example, when scientists observe light going through a loophole, the light doesn't double in intensity. It intensifies slightly less than 200%. So some light is lost while going through the loophole. In the same way, if matter were to go through a loophole, it wouldn't come out fully intact. Some matter would be lost. I don't think we can quite comprehend what that would look like, possibly because of the fourth dimension, tying it into what the OP is saying, but I think our brains comprehend the result as ghosts, human forms that are in and out of our consciousness and can't quite interact with their surroundings. This also dispels the grandfather paradox and explains why we seemingly haven't been contacted by aliens yet. The universe is so large, aliens rely on loopholes to travel through space and thus show up as ghosts and unexplained phenomenons.
Weird.
Interesting.
Well, that took us on a ride.
And there's like,
Amy.
if anybody wants to hop on Reddit and look up this like fourth dimension and ghosts, there's this thread goes on for days.
The nerds went wild.
Yes, they really did.
They went wild. Awesome. Well, thanks, Amy.
No
That
problem.
was very interesting. Very interesting. Okay, switching gears a bit. This is a request from Chris Brokaw.
Oh, hey.
I know he sent me this, and I kind of fell down some rabbit holes as well. I've got two articles here. I think I'm going to start with Rolling Stone, the one that I think Chris, this is the one he sent me. We're going to talk about the Hat Man today, which is kind of like a sleep paralysis demon.
Oh, okay. I'm here for it.
This Rolling Stone article is titled, How the Hat Man Went from Benadryl Joke to TikTok Horror Villain. People see him when they take Benadryl.
Oh. I'm dead to the world when I take
I know,
Benadryl.
but maybe that's...
Yeah.
Anyway. So this is a Rolling Stone article by Miles Klee. Halloween may be over. This is from this year, too. But one spooky figure you still need to keep an eye out for is the Hat Man. Since the late 2000s, people have shared their stories of a strange vision that sounds remarkably consistent from one account to the next. It's the tall silhouette of a man in a brimmed hat. Abraham Lincoln.
Abe. It always comes back to Abe.
Sexy Abe, though, not normal Abe. Abe. Remember you said he was covering his junk with his hat.
Oh, yes.
Oh, Abe, you really had a lot more that you could have done while you were.
Why
your life
had to have
was
such a tall hat.
Your life was cut short.
It really was.
I mean, you didn't become president, so it's pretty epic.
But
Anyway.
it really took its toll on him.
Oh, poor Abe.
I mean, obviously, it ended in his assassination. But I'm just saying, like, physically, over the course of a few years, he aged 100
John Wilkes
years.
Booth, why are you so freaking mad? Like, God.
Calm down.
Calm down.
Actor.
You actor. You're mad you weren't on the stage that night? Anyway. Okay. Tall silhouette of a man in a brimmed hat, a presence that tends to appear when you're in bed at night, somewhere between sleep and consciousness. Ugh. Creepy. I don't like that.
No. That's why I take melatonin. I just go from consciousness to unconscious.
Me too. I don't need melatonin.
Except I have such lucid dreams.
That's probably this. That's where this comes in.
Oh. And it doesn't matter. I've been taking melatonin for
I had a dream the other
year
night
now,
that
and I
Kyle
still
cheated on me. And it was so vivid too. And I woke up very angry. Then I was like, okay, Whitney.
I wake up angry at Jamie all the time. It's because he's snoring.
Well, maybe not for long. Has he had a sleep study?
He did the first step of it, but I think he's still waiting on the thing. They said they'd shipped it. It's supposed to be like some sort of ring he wears while he's sleeping.
A ring?
I don't know.
Interesting.
The last time was just one of those, when you go to the doctor's office and they put that oxygen monitor on your finger? It was like that.
Weird.
And after that, they're like, yeah, you qualify.
You're like, I could have told you that.
Can we get to the point where he gets whatever it is to help
stop snoring?
Have you seen the commercials for that new thing? I forget what it's called, but it's like it's not, it replaces
CPAP?
like a CPAP. It's just like a little thing you clip on or something. I don't understand
Weird.
Science.
That's amazing.
Yeah. But
How is it putting something in your body?
I don't know. I don't understand. But I'm like, well, can we get that? Because
We'll take 2 of those.
Because I'm going to be, if he has to get a CPAP, like, I'm going to be like, you never clean that. I guess I'll clean it. Because I'm even that way, like with his electric toothbrush. It'll get all like crusty at like the thing. And I'm like, I'm in there Clorox wiping everything.
Yeah.
I'm like, gross, you put that in your mouth. What is wrong with you?
Why does that
listen to
happen
this.
on
I don't
toothbrushes?
care.
It's so... Well, it doesn't happen to mine because I rinse that whole bad boy
Oh,
every single
I'm like,
time.
I look like I'm doing some inappropriate stuff with my, I'm like,
Hey!
it's going in my mouth. And
Yes.
I am like, every 3 months, bam, change, do.
Or else it's not working
And I
anymore.
do that for my whole family, or else
Same,
they would keep
right.
using the same toothbrush for 100 years.
It's just like has 2 bristles.
Yeah. Gross, people. Oral hygiene is important.
Hey, I took Holden to the dentist over Christmas break and he refused the appointment. It was really embarrassing. He was like, no. I was like, please.
Yeah.
I'll buy you anything.
See, I started taking my kids at like really
Me
young
too.
ages.
He's been like 5 times.
And the first trip was just like, I scheduled with my dentist. It was just like a show and tell.
Yeah.
Like where he just like, this is what
And
this is for.
honestly,
and this is what this
this
does,
is like,
and this is...
it's a cleaning, but it's very non-invasive. And he's been multiple times, but this time he was like, nope. And they were like, we're going to give you a referral to the one that gives laughing gas across the street by Kroger. I'm like, oh God.
Oh, that's where I had my wisdom teeth removed.
Me too. And they have a pediatric dentist there, and I guess they
Nice.
give
Okay.
laughing gas. I'm
Well-
like, that feels weird, but I'll do
Well,
it.
I mean,
Better than having tooth decay.
exactly.
So that'll be fun. Anyway, really
I mean,
embarrassing.
it might be kind of fun
Yeah.
for you.
I just hope he'll do it.
Well, he won't really have a choice.
Oh, I'm like just putting
Mask
the
on. Like,
breathe. Oh God. Okay.
well, I mean, you could just tell him, like, oh, look at this.
It's
How cool. Put on the.
It's just
It's a superhero mask. Put it on.
he will not fall for that. He'd be like, what is this? What is
Well,
this?
I'm sure they're used to, like,
100%.
I'm sure they got a million tricks up their sleeve.
Yeah, hopefully, please God. Anyway, here we go. Back to Abe Lincoln coming to you at night sexually.
And maybe to offer words of wisdom also.
Yes. Full school. We're like, not again, Abe.
We
already heard
so
that.
Redundant.
We know.
Get some new material.
Right?
You're in the fifth dimension.
Yeah,
you should be able to come up
He's
with
like,
some
my
stuff.
speech writer didn't come with me.
Yeah.
Okay. This is Timothy Brown. Tim Brown.
He just doesn't have sleeves. It's so perplexing.
Did Tim have sleeves? He had sleeves usually. Just his son doesn't.
No, Tim never does. Tim's always wearing sleeveless.
He's dead.
Oh, I'm thinking, never mind. You're right. His name's not Tim.
I'm like, Tim's passed on. He's in the fifth dimension.
He's hanging out with Abe.
He might be the Hat Man. I never saw him once wear a hat. And he was pretty nice, so I don't think he'd try to scare people.
And it hasn't been that long since he died.
No. Your look on your face, and then you made me question myself. I was like,
my neighbor died? Oh, God.
And then I was like, did he not die?
I don't know. I can't keep their names all straight. Whatever.
I thought... Sorry, your face was so funny because you were so confused, and then I was immediately I'm clearly wrong.
I was like, yeah, his son never really has sleeves on.
Yeah. No, I'm talking about the big son.
It's a family
Tradition. We hate sleeves.
Anyone that works in the lumber industry tends to just hate sleeves.
And must have lots of armpit skin tags.
And the hair.
Yeah. Armpit skin tags, yo. If you got the, I don't know.
I think you can buy stuff on Amazon for that.
Why do you get... Okay.
Anyways. Or if you don't care, if they don't bother you, okay, do you. Whatever. Rock. Let your skin tags wave in the wind. Whatever. Skin tags waving in the wind. That's the name of this episode. Let your skin tag fly.
I just am writing skin tags. Oh my God. They would have theirs tattooed with like MAGA on it. These are
or it has its own little red hat.
These are my Trump tags. Nasty.
Ew.
Okay. I'm sorry.
Oh God, we're still on the first episode.
I'm sorry. I have issues with skin tags. They bother me.
They are gross.
We're like, but let them fly.
But sorry. If you have them, sorry.
I'm sure I've had them. I don't know. I guess maybe I haven't.
Well, I think you would know because you'd still have them if you didn't do anything to remove them. They don't just go away, I don't think.
Yeah, I definitely don't have any then. I'm going to go and inspect my whole body.
I go to the dermatologist once a year for a very thorough skin examination. If she didn't tell me I had a skin tag, I'd find a new dermatologist.
She's like, I thought you liked it.
Looks under that magnifier.
I know.
I feel so self-conscious.
I know. It's so embarrassing.
I hate my skin tag. I mean, it's necessary. I get it. But...
I know. And my dermatologist is so nice, but it's still horrifying. Because I'm like, why is my rear end so large and in charge?
I don't think that's what she's there for.
But you're down in your underwear, you know, and then she'll like pull them out and look, and you're like, oh God. Well, what if I had something under there? You know, like you can't see it here.
Like that has never seen the light of day. If there's skin cancer down there, just shit me off. Like, why is that?
You said shit me off. It's like, what does that mean?
Send me to a colony.
And me too. I don't want to be alone here. Oh my God. I guess you could probably get skin cancer there.
Oh, you totally could. There are people who get skin cancer that has nothing to do with the sun.
You know what I feel really sad about? Anal cancer.
Yeah.
You know? God.
What a bummer.
I know. And you're like, it's just unfortunate. Anyway.
Yeah. And getting skin cancer removed is no walk in the park.
No, Kyle's dad's gotten a lot removed, and
I
it is
had to
like
have
traumatizing.
it removed from like my chest once. And then I had an allergic reaction to the adhesive and the bandages.
Oh no.
So then it was just like a whole...
Where they like scoop and then they're
Yeah,
like,
and
do
they
you have
actually
enough?
like put
And then-
stitches in and stuff.
Yeah.
I was not anticipating. I thought it was going to be more like a scraping.
Yes.
I did not know they were actually...
Going so deep.
And you just like go in the office and they just do that.
I
It's
know.
not like it's...
Outpatient.
It's like, oh my God.
Oh my God.
So yeah, it was...
What is
not a good time.
What is this video? What is this video? Who are these women?
What are they?
I'm confused. I don't know what this is.
Is that like a promoted thing? Or
Maybe-
is that something to do
featured
with Hat
video?
Man?
Rolling Stone and Audible.
Oh, well, you're on the Rolling Stone.
Yeah.
You said the Rolling Stone like a lame idiot. You got the Rolling Stone pulled up there.
Is that still a magazine? Oh my God. I've literally read one paragraph of this.
Sorry.
No, don't be sorry. It's just hilarious. Well, I made the Tim joke. And then we just went from there. Okay, Timothy J. M. Brown Jr. says, what I saw gripped me immediately with fear and dread. Timothy Brown Jr. writes, who from 2008 has curated a blog where anyone can describe their encounter with the Hat Man. Oh my gosh. Wish I looked at that ahead of time. The Hat Man Project blog. I'll go to that in a minute and see what's there. Okay. He had his first glimpse of the apparition as a teen in the 1990s. The man had no distinguishable features whatsoever. I could see no eyes, no nose, or mouth, only blackness. He looked like a shadow, only darker, much darker. He had a very wide-brimmed hat and a long trench coat that flowed as he moved. Ooh. This was the beginning of the Hat Man's tenure as an internet urban legend, often referred to as a creepypasta. The kind of story that gets endlessly repeated and revised until it has embedded itself in the cultural consciousness. Well, that's not a creepypasta if people are actually seeing it. It's not Slender Man.
Right.
I mean, do people think they've seen Slender Man, though, in real life? Probably.
Yeah, I think so.
As you...
Yeah, there have been like Slender Man sightings. I just air quoted.
But is that...
But-
I mean, are they pretending to have a sighting or like really have it? You know what I mean?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I've never like investigated a case.
I don't want to see the Slender
No,
Man.
I don't either. You stay on your side of the road there, Slender
Yeah.
Man.
Which can get
And
dangerous.
Hat Man, probably. I don't think I want to see him
They're
either,
probably
do I?
like similar, I would think.
Yeah.
And then...
third cousins.
Yeah. And then they go on to remind us of the Slender Man stabbings, which we have not forgotten.
No.
Let's see. The Hat Man's all over TikTok right now, apparently. So this person on Reddit memes, subreddit says, I just heard about this whole Hat Man phenomenon. Is it possible I saw him in color? I saw this figure in my bedroom when I was a teenager. I used Midjourney AI to create something, whatever that is, to create something similar, and this image is so close to what I saw. My experience seems the same as many others, except with color. That's a very interesting hat.
It is. It's very,
Pointy.
an Amish.
He's just an
That was
Amish.
not Hat Man, sir. That was just someone who does not like electricity.
Oh, God! Here's another image. He has a face.
Well, he has teeth and eyes. That's literally it.
Whether the teeth are in a mouth is
it's to
is
be determined. It looks like it's like like that paper you.
This is drawn with crayon.
It's like that black paper you buy and you scratch. You're drawing on. That's what that's on.
It's so bad. The Hat Man's so.
I could draw that. That's
The
saying something.
Hat Man is so pissed. He's like, excuse me. That's the best you've got. Apart from Tim Brown's blog, a Hat Man subreddit has been going strong for years. He's been the subject of fan art and numerous YouTube videos, including a 2019 mini documentary by Quartz, whatever that is, that associated him with the biological phenomenon of sleep paralysis. But on 4chan and elsewhere, the Hat Man's often referenced as a hallucination brought on by the abuse of DHP, the active ingredient in the over-the-counter allergy medication Benadryl. Forums like Reddit's I love DHP Oh my God, that's a subreddit? People are just like, dude, I love Benadryl.
Benadryl is the best.
That is like not what I would be going for.
No.
I want something that gives me energy. Give me like Vyvanse or something.
Unless I'm genuinely sick, and then
Yeah.
give me the Benadryl, knock me out.
Yeah,
and
but I just don't
let
want
me
to
sleep.
abuse Benadryl my day-to-day life.
No, I
That's
already
who
feel-
I am already.
I was gonna say I already feel like I'm walking through life on Benadryl. I don't.
Right. Forums like Reddit's I Love DHP, where users post trip reports after taking dangerous amounts of the drug. The Hat Man is at once an inside joke and a mascot. Oh, God. This DHP person said, quote, I'm on their subreddit, I'm going to attempt to see the Hat Man and F him. Oh, God. We're
Well, maybe you don't have his consent. I mean,
and also,
on.
maybe he doesn't have, like, substance. He's a shadow.
He's one-dimensional.
Right.
He's etched on this black scratchy paper stuff.
And the paper just, like, the paper waddles around.
Yes. It's Flat Stanley.
Please don't say to F flat Stanley. It's like people who are in sexual relationships with, like, cars.
Yes. My weird obsession or whatever that is.
Or the Eiffel Tower. It's like, how are you in a sexual relationship?
Yikes.
You just go rub yourself on the Eiffel Tower. People are
I feel like someone would, like, you would get stopped by guards.
People are like, they're like there with their children. They're like, look away!
Like, here, take this baguette. Go somewhere private with that. Leave.
Ew.
Well, I just imagine everyone in Paris has baguettes.
I'm just imagining
all
soggy
times.
baguettes.
It needs to be nice and crisp, like Jimmy John's bread. Or Bread Co. Like
Ow.
Panera
Very,
Bread. That would make you.
we went to a weird place there. It was great.
Well, you took us there.
You did with the baguette.
No, you did with the Eiffel Tower.
Rubbing the Eiffel Tower. Oh, God. Okay. But this is also saying that any mind-altering substance taken to excess is thought to grant access to the Hat Man. Even caffeine. Ah! Well, I'm screwed.
Good thing I'm drinking all my water now.
Oh, God. I'm glad. Okay. So here's some, I don't know. Here's another subreddit called MS Secret Podcast. And this person, PP Wiener, wait, no. I'm going to start with Milkton says, you ever get so tired you start seeing spiders?
No. Can't say as I have. And I like to consider myself an expert on the topic of being tired. So.
You ever get so tired you start seeing spiders? Oh, God. PP Wiener says, me after I take 17 Benadryl and start seeing the Hat Man.
That seems very dangerous.
That's like all that comes in a bottle, I feel like.
Wouldn't you be overdosing?
Milkton.
Can you overdose on Benadryl?
I would think you could of anything. Milkton says, the who? PP Wiener. Oh, this is not a safe space suddenly. That's the funniest.
Listen, PP Wiener. He just asked
You're
who.
just also saying PP and Wiener the same thing.
Yes.
It's like saying like coochie vagina.
You're being very redundant.
Yes. This person on Twitter says, my first date idea. We both take 23 Benadryl and try to fight the Hat Man. People, stop with the
Good.
Benadryl.
Yeah. How are you? I don't understand.
While
How are
many
you not having to go have your stomach pumped?
I know. While many don't take the Hat Man too seriously, instead riffing about owing him money or manifesting him as an imaginary friend when you're lonely, some TikTok creators have gone in the other direction, claiming that he's real and potentially evil shadow person. Patrick James, whose videos on subjects like UFOs and haunted houses reach nearly 300,000 followers. If you're not on ghost TikTok or UFO TikTok, get in there. There is some good stuff. Amy, get on TikTok.
I know. Sorry.
Or don't, because it is like a mind suck, I guess. Hypothesize that the Hat Man is an interdimensional being. Abby Sabota, whose scary tales and interpretation of American folklore command an audience of more than 500,000 on where? On TikTok, I guess, says that the Hat Man most often appears to children to feed off their negative emotions, especially those arising from trauma. and is in effect a parasite.
Ew.
I don't like that at all.
No.
A TikTok influencer named MJ Patik, meanwhile, told his own 1.1 million followers that if they've seen the Hat Man, they're in danger, claiming that some have woken with scratches all over their body. Oh, God. That's not cool. And then there's tons of TikTok videos I'm now scrolling through. That's the Hat Man, explained a self-described practitioner and teacher of dangerous physical witchcraft who goes by the handle @WitchfootOfficial.
Dangerous physical witchcraft?
Traditional physical witchcraft. Okay, I'm now going to go to the Hat Man Project blog because this looks fascinating and I'm just very curious. This is Tim Brown's website. He has a book called The Hat Man Revealed. Here are the most recent Hat Man stories. I'll read a couple and then we can be done. Hat Man at my grandparents'. Hold on. Okay, here we go. I was roughly about 11 or 12 sleeping in my grandparents' bedroom with my sister. I woke but couldn't move. Then I noticed the Hat Man sitting at the edge of the bed, turned away slightly. Ugh. I couldn't see any features on him, but I could feel him staring at me, and I was screaming inside my mind but felt powerless. I had those kind of dreams so bad much as a kid. As a kid, not anymore though, as much.
Yeah,
occasionally
they're not
maybe.
nearly as common as they were as a
Child, teenager, yeah. I tried to wake up my sister, then finally I was able to move and wake her up. She saw nothing. My grandparents' house was owned by my grandfather's family before then, so it was an older house in Loveland, Colorado. Colorado.
Like a garacha.
Colorado. My grandparents' house was my favorite place to be, but then when other family members were present or living there, the family was very negative. Okay, so they're just saying something about generational trauma and alcoholism. Great.
Fantastic.
Let's see.
Probably why we have those dreams.
Absolutely. I saw him in 2014. I was 15 at the time and was going to bed. I and my grandma were alone in the house, and this was a regular home. No fancy things, just a basic condo. Our house was nearly impossible to break into since we had a security guy at the entrance, and our condo was on the 3rd floor. That night, after saying goodnight to my grandma, I climbed up from my bed and was checking my phone. Then suddenly, the door started to open. I curiously looked at the door because I thought my grandma came to say something, but all I saw was darkness. No face, no eyes, no nothing but a black figure. I tried to scream and tried to touch my phone. I couldn't move a muscle or make any sounds. After a few seconds, which felt like an eternity, he slammed my door.
Wow, fine.
Screw you!
It's like an angry teenage girl.
I got really scared, but I tried to check on my grandma. She was watching TV. Before I could say any words, she said, "Why'd you slam your door?" I couldn't respond. I couldn't explain, and I still was not able to talk. I shook it off after a few hours, but to this day, I still know it was the Hat Man. Anyway, let's see how many stories like this there are, just out of curiosity, so you can go here and read them for yourself. Oh my gosh. Oh, do I want to read Tim Brown's story?
Sure. What got old Tim involved in his
see.
Hat Man interests?
We'll go here. My experience with the Hat Man came in 1994 when I was about 14. I was living with my grandmother and great-grandmother at my home in Nashville, Tennessee. I'd been staying up really late that night, and about 2 a.m. in the morning, I found myself lying in bed and nodding off as I was watching TV. The lights were all off, and the only light that was lighting my room was coming from the TV set in front of me. From where I was laying my bed, looking down at my feet, I had a clear view all the way into and through my great-grandmother's room, which was just parallel to mine, as there was no door between my room and hers. I could also see into the hallway just on the far side of her room. Just inside the hallway was the doorway going to my grandmother's room. None of that makes sense. As I was lying there...
We don't need the blueprints to your grandma's house, Tim.
Because, as I read that, I'm like, nope, I am not visualizing this at all. As I was lying there with the colors pulled up to my face... Yep.
Yeah, now we can visualize.
Yeah, right here.
Lived it.
Tiny hands poking out. Nodding off, my eyes would open and fall over and over again. And then at some point, something I heard on TV made a noise and caused me to wake up and open my eyes a little wider. Only this time, I saw something out of the corner of my eye. I always had a fear about intruders and what I would do if someone ever broke into our home. For a brief moment, I thought that the movement I was seeing might be my grandmother getting up to go to the bathroom. But as I moved my eyes more into focus, looking down through my great-grandmother's room into the hallway, I quickly realized it wasn't my grandmother. What I saw gripped me immediately with dread and fear. I saw a tall, human-like figure, and the figure looked like that of a man. The man had no distinguishable features. I could see no eyes, no nose, no mouth, only darkness.
Oh!
He looked like a shadow, only darker. He had
that
very
sounds terrifying.
I know, very wide-brimmed hat and trench coat. I started to tremble, and my heart started to race. At that moment, I came to the conviction that there was indeed an intruder in my house. As you would, I mean...
Yeah. Why would an intruder wear that big hat?
Just bad idea. It could fall off, be left behind. Unless it's an Amish intruder.
Unless it's an Amish intruder. So that tells me they are like at the top of the list of burglars.
No. And like, do they have to wear that hat? Is there like a law? You know?
I don't know.
They always are.
Yeah.
Part of their uniform.
It is.
Okay.
Well, yeah, because the women always have the little bonnet
Bonnets,
things.
yeah.
But I think that is like a rule. I don't know about the men and their hats.
As I watched him move, in the back of my mind, where's he moving? I began to play out scenarios as to what he and I were going to do. Was I going to yell? Was I going to get up and run after him and try to fight him? I kept looking into the hallway. He stood there at the threshold between my great-grandmother's room and my grandmother's room. He leaned his head and body into my great-grandmother's room and looked in, turning his head toward her and then toward me. I had my eyes closed as much as I could so I could still see him but look like I was sleeping. That's maybe a good idea. Yeah. I don't know. He stood there for what seemed like an eternity, just staring. He then moved very slowly and without sound back into the hallway just out of view. Ew. As I kept watching,
then you're like, where is he?
I know, and you think when you think of these things, I always imagine them just being still, not like creeping around your house looking in rooms. As I kept watching, I then saw this blacker than black figure move toward my grandmother's room. Just like before, he leaned his body and head into her doorway, looking at her, again not making a sound. Then he leaned back and moved out of view into the hallway. At this point, I didn't know what else to do. I was convinced that we had some kind of burglar in our house. So I summoned some courage and jumped up out of bed, yelling, and charged into the hallway, ready to fight.
Bring it on!
I'm like, but he was gone. Obviously, my yelling and screaming startled and woke up my grandmothers. I told them what happened, and needless to say, we didn't go back to sleep for a long time. After my experience at night and during the day, I spent a lot of time talking with my family about what had happened. I was surprised to know that my experience of the man with the hat and cape, where'd a cape come from, was not the only one that had happened in the house. Turns out my grandmother and great-grandmother had seen the same thing. My grandmother relayed to me that a few nights prior, she'd woken up in the middle of the night and saw a dark figure walk past her doorway in the dim light of the hallway. Since it looked like it was wearing some kind of flowing robe, she thought it was her mother, my great-grandmother, getting up to go to the bathroom wearing her evening robe. Oh,
fancy great-grandma.
Is that silk?
My
Silken?
evening. Does she have a day robe? That we just call your house coat.
Yes.
And then the evening robe.
And then, is the hat man wearing a silk robe? That's crazy. He's like, you have
kimono. It's so beautiful.
Oh, my God. Then, too, my great-grandmother told me that she also, on a separate occasion, had seen the same dark shadow being lurking in the house at night. I honestly didn't know what to make of it all. And over the years, as time passed, I've grown very antagonistic against the whole thing, brushing it off as mere happenstance. A figment of my imagination, or perhaps a result of my nodding off and being in that in-between place of half asleep.
All three saw it.
Right.
And they weren't on Benadryl.
No.
Or were they? I don't know.
Or were any of them? Okay, so this
almost sounds kind of Grim Reaper.
I was about to say the same thing with and them being very old.
Yeah.
Well, I imagine the great grandma is anyway. Maybe not.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, well that's all. I'll leave it there. If you want to go check out more, go to thehatmanproject.com and you can read more. Yeah. And that's all.
Check out all of our socials.
Thank you.
Bye.